Maddie Glab here telling you what's going on with the Tennessee men's basketball team. Tennessee took a trip to Brooklyn over Thanksgiving weekend to play 2 games, one against George Washington and the other against Nebraska. Here's a wrap of the weekend full of basketball.
Yep.
It was right there, those guys separated themselves and, built I believe it was like a 10-point lead maybe, pretty much fought back into the game, had the chance to take the lead a few times, had a chance to tie the game, but, we just came up short. I felt like we took some positive and negatives, both offensively and defensively. Just, if we could have had eliminated a few mistakes, within the whole entire game, maybe, the score or the outcome wouldn't have been, what it was.
These guys will respond. We got a good group of guys. I think that we are still learning about these guys. I think they're learning about themselves too. And you go in a game like the Nebraska game, when you look out there and you see that the guys that you're counting on aren't competing as hard as you want them to, and then you make a decision during the game if they're not going to compete, we're going to give these other guys a chance to see what they can do. And you may not do that if it's in a close game where you feel like, we've still got a chance right here. But the great thing about the Nebraska game was the way that Admiral and Kyle responded. Those guys came in, and they might not have gotten that chance if we were in a closer game.
Even though we did lose, I do feel like we took some good key points out of it.
Tennessee fought hard in both games but didn't come out with a win over the weekend. In the game against George Washington, Devin Bachman scored 16 points and grabbed 3 steals. Kevin Punter finished as the leading scorer with 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals. In the game against Nebraska, Robert Hubbs scored 13 points and had 4 boards. Kevin Punter, the leading scorer, again with 23 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 steals. Athletic Director Dave Hart met with the media this week and shared his thoughts on Rick Barnes and his team.
Rick Barnes is an elite coach. Not a good coach. He's an elite coach. And he has an unbelievable reputation among his peers in the industry and beyond, quite candidly. Rick Barnes will get it done. We have really good young men on our roster, and they play so hard. They're actually fun to watch because they play so hard. Rick will coach them up to the best of his ability and to the best of a reasonable level, and it'll happen. But it's not an overnight by any stretch of the imagination process.
Tennessee doesn't play for quite some time. Their next game is December 12th away against Butler at 2:30. The last time Tennessee had a 13-day break from games, 1967, when Ray Mears was coach. Kevin Punter says this time will help the team tweak some things that need work.
I probably would say defense, offensively, just cleaning up some sharp cuts and stuff like that. Or, I'll pretty much say a little bit of everything. We got a lot of time. Now is where you clean up everything, just for the simple fact that because we have so much time on our hands.
I think it comes at a good time for us, because we need to still practice some things. We've learned some things through these early games, which we thought we would, but we need some real good practice time here, along with continuing to scrimmage and that type thing. But we need get some guys better individually.
That's all for this week's Vol Report. I'll be back next week with more.